कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री राम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter number 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home, text number 8. Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca api smaratha no yuṣmat pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipad-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder mocitā yat samātṛkāḥ mātṛkāḥ. Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca api smaratha no yuṣmat pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipad-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder mocitā yat samātṛkāḥ. Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca api smaratha no yuṣmat pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipat-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder mocitā yat samātṛkāḥ.
pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipad-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder mocitā-yat-samātṛkāḥ Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca smaratha no yuṣmat pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipad-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder mocitā samātṛkāḥ
माताएं
Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca api smaratha no yuṣmat pakṣa-cchāyā-samedhitān vipad-gaṇād viṣāgnyāder
Yudhiṣṭhira vāca. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira said, Api, whether, smaratha, you remember, naha, us, yuṣmat, from you, paksha, partiality towards us, and like the wings of a bird, chāyā, protection, samedhitān, we who were brought up by you, vipat-gaṇād, from various types of calamities, viṣa, by administration of poison, agni-ādeḥ, by setting off fire, mocitā, released from, yat, what you have done, sa, along with, mātṛkāḥ, mātṛkāḥ, our mother. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira said, My uncle, do you remember how you always protected us along with our mother from all sorts of calamities? Your partiality, like the wings of a bird, saved us from poisoning and arson. Purport. Due to Pandu's death at an early age, his minor children and widow were the object of special care by all the elderly members of the family, especially Bhishmadev and Mahatma Vidur. Vidur was more or less partial to the Pandavas due to their political position. Although Dhritarashtra was equally careful for the minor children of Maharaj Pandu, he was one of the intriguing parties who wanted to wash away the descendants of Pandu and replace them by raising his own sons to become the rulers of the kingdom. Mahatma Vidur could follow this intrigue of Dhritarashtra and company, and therefore, even though he was a faithful servitor of his eldest brother Dhritarashtra, he did not like his political ambition for the sake of his own sons. He was therefore very careful about the protection of the Pandavas and their widow mother. He was he was, so to speak, partial to the Pandavas, preferring them to the sons of Dhritarashtra. Although both of them were equally affectionate in his ordinary eyes, he was equally affectionate to both the camps of nephews in the sense that he always chastised Duryodhana for his intriguing policy against his cousins. He always criticized his elder brother for his policy of encouragement to his sons, and at the same time, he was always alert in giving special protection to the Pandavas. All these different activities of Vidur within the palace politics made him well known as partial to the Pandavas. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira has referred to the past history of Vidur before his going away from the home for a prolonged pilgrimage journey. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira reminded him that he was equally kind and partial to his grown up nephews even after the Battle of Kurukshetra, a great family disaster. Before the Battle of Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra's policy was peaceful annihilation of his nephews, and therefore he ordered Purochan to build a house at Varnavat. And when the building was finished, Dhritarashtra desired that his brother's family live there for some time. When the Pandavas were going there in the presence of all the members of the royal family, Vidura tactfully gave instruction to the Pandavas about the future plan of Dhritarashtra. This is specifically described in the Mahabharata Adi Parva 114. He indirectly hinted, a weapon not made of steel or any other metal element can be more than sharp to kill an enemy, and he who knows this is never killed. That is to say, he hinted that the party of the Pandavas was being sent to Varnava to be killed, and thus he warned Yudhiṣṭhira to be very careful in the new residential palace. He also gave indications of fire and said that fire cannot extinguish the soul but can annihilate the mental body. But one who protects the soul can live. Kunti could not follow such indirect conversations between Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira and Vidur. And thus, when she inquired from her son about uh, the purport of the conversation, Yudhiṣṭhira replied that from the talks of Vidur, it was understood that there was a hint of fire in the house where they were proceeding. Later on, Vidur came in disguise to the Pandavas and informed them that the housekeeper was going to set fire on the house on the 14th night of the waning moon. It was an intrigue of Dhritarashtra that the Pandavas might all die together with their mother. And by his warning, the Pandavas escaped through a tunnel underneath the earth so that their escape was also unknown to Dhritarashtra. So much so that after setting the fire, the Kauravas were so certain of the death of the Pandavas that Dhritarashtra performed the last rites of death with great cheerfulness. And during the mourning period, all the members of the palace became overwhelmed with lamentation, but Vidura did not become so, because of his knowledge that the Pandavas were alive somewhere. There are many such instances of calamities, and in each of them, Vidura gave them protection to the Pandavas on one hand, and on the other hand, he tried to restrain his brother Dhritarashtra from such inbreeding policies. Therefore, he was always partial to the Pandavas, just as bird protects its egg by its wing. Jai Shri Prabhupada. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्या नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vācālam pangam langhayate girim, yatkripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dīnatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So, seeking for the blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled online and offline to kindly bless me to kindly shower some mercy so that I can serve Srimad Bhagavatam by repeating um, whatever I have learned from the Acharyas, previous Acharyas, mainly Srila Prabhupada. And may this be for the pleasure of all the Samad Vaishnavas, and may this be for the purification of my dirty heart. So, this particular section from Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home, is all about the returning of Vidura after getting enlightened and enlivened by the teachings of Maitreya. So Vidura is hearing from Maitreya in the third and the fourth canto. At the end of the fourth canto, he hears about the pastime of Prachini Parishad, and because of that, he starts feeling that if this old person, Prachini Barhi, if he is now retiring by the great forceful preaching of Narad Muni, then he immediately remembers his old brother who is also rotting in the house of Hastinapur, palace of Hastinapur, by the grace of his um, elder nephew, that is Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj. So Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj is Dharmaraj, the son of Dharma personified, and Vidur is actually the incarnation of same Dharmaraj, Yamaraj. So both of them are quite connected, and that way we'll see also that how when Vidur gave some tricky sense of things, it's known as Mlecha Bhasha. Yudhishthir could decipher the meaning. And we see how Vidur comes back with that heart of compassion towards his elder brother. And when he is coming in the form of a sannyasi after a long, long time of pilgrimage, which he was he was intrigued by Duryodhan. He told, Chacha, get out. You are the son of a Shudrani, and you are being spared with your breath. That's my glory. So because of that, um, immediately Vidur, he keeps his bow. Somewhere it is told he's breaking his bow, and that bow is also quite interesting. It's a Vishnu chap, it's a Vishnu bow, somewhere it is written. So in fact, if he would have fought on the Kaurava side, then it would have been very, very difficult for the Pandavas to win. So this is also the plan of the Lord. So he just leaves for good. And then when he is returning, this returning is not meant for any political agenda. The politics is done. The righteousness is established. Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj is the king. And here we have a sannyasi coming in, and the Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj and all the devotees, and the people of the Kuru dynasty, very happily they welcome him back, as if they have found their own very close relative. And of course, he's a very close relative. This is as if they have found their breath, right? That so very nice way of greeting very nice way of making the guest reception was explained here in the previous translations and purport. They cried out of affection, arranged for sitting position, accommodation, and the reception, and then very nicely fed him. And after giving sufficient rest, he made him comfortably seated, and then he started speaking. This is very nice way of guest reception, even you know, and then all of the people assembled. They were present there to sit and listen from him, because now you are a sannyasi, you are a sage. Please enlighten us. So, and then Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, before he asks for anything else, he reminds him of his so much of care and love towards the Pandavas, and he makes him remember of how you always protected us from all sorts of calamities, including poisoning and arson. And just like a mother protects the small, choose, what do you call that? Small birds, with his with or the eggs with his with her, whether feathers with her wings. So this way, he was given so much of respect, adoration, comfort, and then he will be given you know kind of kind of an opportunity to share his realizations and knowledge, which he will direct to the person on which the name of this chapter is based. So this being the background, now I'll go to the background to which the purport is revealing to us. So there were all the sons of Pandu. They were very good from all terms. I mean, Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj was just a very nice personality, very devoted and very courageous at the same time. Best in terms of being the king, and in addition to that, he was quite skilled. And there was Bhima, who was very having so much of power, so much of courage, and so much of even wisdom. And we had along with them Arjun, who was the third son of Kunti, and he was also the best archer who has been declared by the Guru Drona all over the planet, the best archer out there. And then we had the two beautiful, handsome boys, Nakul Sahadev, son of Madri, all of them staying in the palace and having a proper good time. But then, seeing them such a prosperous five Pandavas, even in the absence of Pandu, Dhritarashtra was in anxiety. And he called his minister, whose name was Kanika, and he told Kanika, Kanika, I'm feeling so jealous of this five sons of my younger brother. My younger brother was really quite, um, kind of very good king, and he was not attached to anything. As soon as he understood he did a mistake, he gave punishment to himself to set out of the whole kingdom, and he made me the king, although I am blind. And he was really virtuous, and so are his sons. But this is making me full of anxiety. I am not able to sleep, I'm not able to digest what I'm eating. It's so difficult for me. So, what do you have as an advice for me? What do you think should be done? So Kanika started advising, the king, that actually, O king, please understand that anytime you find any person who is uh, potentially available to usurp your kingdom, should immediately do take steps by the grace of which that person and the people who are supporting that person are finished. They should be finished in a way that they should never be able to rise back. They should be killed, and anyone who has ever supported them, visibly or invisibly, from the front or from behind, should also be killed. And when, if you find, these persons in the forefront, you should smile, you should be courteous to them. But as soon as you get the opportunity, you should immediately slay them off. And in addition to that, whenever you see that there is an opportunity to do anything wrong to them, you should immediately do that without thinking anything about the what will come back to me. So this is the way you should rule. And for this, you should be not having any kind of considerations to apply sam, dam, danda, bhed. So you should really, feel no, and if that person comes to you and begs for forgiveness or seeks your shelter, then also you should not think of anything else than just slaying him mercilessly. You should not be merciful at all, because anyone who is ready to usurp or take your throne as a king should be immediately slayed. So this is the, and he goes on and on. And if you read that section, you feel, wow, this is the way the demons start thinking. This is the way they plot. And 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 this is not obsolete. It's quite relevant in today's day and age too. It's there in the business. It's there in the you know situations within the relationship of the family. It is there in the countries. It's there within the states. It's there in the office. This is how it's happening. And it's quite intriguing that any sane person who's ruling, if he is not guided by a brahmana, by an acharya, and if he seeks guidance from someone who is not a proper guide, then this is what comes up. And we can see the example of mantra with the wrong counseling comes up, and just the only thing that is the resultant of all that counseling is disaster. So Dhritarashtra is blind, not only physically but even spiritually, and even so as such politically. So he asks this Kanika, you're talking about Sam, Dam, Dandaved. I don't. Can you please go into a bit of details? And then Kanika says, listen to me very carefully of a story. I'll tell you. So the story is of a jackal, and he had got a team of 4 people, 4 friends. One was a tiger, one was a mouse, one was a mongoose, and one was a wolf. And then they were trying, each of them tried to, kind of hunt a young leader who was the clan of a deer, but none of them were able to catch. Okay. So what the jackal called all those 4 friends and took a meeting and told how we can kill this deer. So he told that you, or rat, should go first and eat up one of the feet of the deer when he is fast asleep, and then you, or tiger, should go and kill the deer. So everyone agreed, wow, that's a beautiful, intelligent plan. You're so intelligent. And then they tried to do that. So when the mouse went and did, eat up a part of the feet of the deer, And then when the tiger attacked, it could not run, and the deer was dead. The jackal came in, and everyone was, wow, we have done it. It's you, Mr. Jackal, because of whom we could do it. Now they asked what to do. So then the jackal told, now you all can go and take a nice bath before we have the nice feast of the carcass. So, so they all went for the bath. And by the time they came, first the tiger came. So the deer, so the jackal with that carcass of the deer was in dhyana, of the meditation of how, what do I do next? So when the tiger came, so the jackal, he saw the jackal, he was in a deep meditation. So he wondered, what are you meditating on? Let us feast on the carcass. We have a good party today. So the jackal told, actually, the mouse came, and the mouse told me that you, O tiger, you are not having sufficient prowess. Your prowess is lacking because you could not kill this deer by your own prowess. You had to take help of that mouse. So the tiger told, really? It's not like that. Now onwards, I'll leave this carcass and I will go around figuring my own meal, and I don't bother about this. So his ego got stuck, he went away. Then the mouse came, and the mouse was like, wow, let us have the feast. The deer told, see, the mongoose just came and he was telling that, this carcass has been poisoned by the claws of the tiger. I'm not going to eat this carcass. Let the mouse come, I will eat that mouse. As soon as the mouse heard this, mouse went within the hole, went away, did not come back. Then came the mongoose. And as soon as the mongoose came, the jackal told, actually, you see, um, there is this wolf who is going to come and kill you, because there is a thing going on between the tiger and the wolf. So what I feel is better is you better, what do you think? Because the wolf is from one side, the tiger is also gone to bring his tigress, and they're coming to have a feast over you. So hearing this, the mongoose also went away. And then came the jackal, the wolf. And when the wolf came, the jackal told, see, the tiger has gone, the mouse has gone, the mongoose has gone, and now you are remaining. Now we will have a fight, and whoever wins the fight will take this carcass of the deer. So the jackal told, oh intelligent, so the wolf told, oh intelligent jackal, you have already defied with your intelligence and your prowess the tiger, the intelligent rat, and even the mongoose. So I don't want to take a risk. I'm going away. I'm going away. So, like this, he applied Sam, Dam, Danda, Bhed into all this, and then Kanika told that when you are finding a more courageous personality like the tiger, then you should apply reconciliation, Sama. And when you are finding someone who is covetous, like the wolf, then you offer him Dama. And then when you are finding someone timid like the rat, you offer force or Danda. And when you are finding someone equal or just senior or just inferior, then like the wolf, like the mongoose, then you apply disunion, that is bheda. So like that, this is the way you need to work. So hearing all this, now Dhritarashtra was, he got his armors. And then what happened in the citizens, among the citizens, they started discussing, oh, this Yudhiṣṭhira is such a nice person, and he should become the next king. And these words entered the ears of crooked Duryodhan, who came and plotted along with his mama, Shakuni, and Karna, and the Sashana, And all of them came to Dhritarashtra and told that this Pandavas, they actually are, if they become the king, if Yudhiṣṭhira, because everyone in the city is talking, everyone in the town, the citizens are talking that Yudhiṣṭhira should become the king. But oh dear father, because you are blind, is this what I am supposed to get? Because Yudhiṣṭhira will become the king, because Pandu was the king, and then his sons will become the king, and the whole thing will go, and we will be bereft of that facility. Because of that, I will be bereft from the royal line, and all of your sons and your clan will be bereft from the royal lineage. And we will be disregarded by all the men. And in addition, the for the rest of eternity, all of us will be dependent on them for our food. भिखारी बन जाएंगे हम. So please do something. So then Dhritarashtra, he remembered the words of Kanika also. But he wondered, what should we do? So then he told Duryodhan, along with taking counseling from his Shakuni, like Kanika. So he told, you banish this Pandavas to Varnavat. Now Varnavat is a place about 30 kilometers from, 40 kilometers from, 37 kilometers from Meerut today. It's known as Varnavarl or something today. So that's a village, and Archaeological Survey of India has found the whole tunnel, which they claim to be this, which is they are able to connect that place, the palace where that lakh house was there, and also that tunnel which comes out in the near of the river. So, anyways, so send them to Varnavat and banish them there, let them stay there. And he told, hey, this is not possible. And there is Bhishma, there is Vidur, there is Kripacharya, there is Dronacharya. They are all, just people. They are not unjust, And if I do something like this, then that will be quite troublesome. The whole thing will come on to us as a, kind of, it can trouble us more and backfire. So then, Duryodhan told that no, Bhishma, he will not do anything. Why? Because he is neutral to both of us. And as far as Dronacharya is concerned, Ashwathama is on our side. So he will not do anything because he is attached to his son. Wherever his son will go, his father will follow. And then there is Kripi, who is the mother of Ashwathama, and Ashwathama himself. So Kripi is the sister of Kripacharya. So Kripacharya will also go wherever there is Ashwathama as well as Drona. So don't bother about three of them. And as far as Vidur is concerned, he is maintaining his livelihood based on our money, our remunerations. So thus, don't worry too much about them, and I will manage. So only thing that you have to do is you have to banish them, and that may not be too long. If you are feeling too long is a big difficulty, then we can do something like banish them till the time I settle down as the king, and we will do the needful. And then he told, but how will it be possible? Don't worry. Even if any one of the ministers, they uproar against the things, then we have got all the treasure of the Hastinapur. And we can give them money. And by the grace of this money and power, we will make them big, give them big posts. So they'll get money and post, and they'll be peaceful. They'll keep shut up, they'll keep silent. So with this, the upcoming days, what happened is, as the sabha was going on, some of the courtiers of Dhritarashtra in his direction started glorifying the place known as Varnavat. They started telling the Pashupati festival that's going to happen there. It's such magnanimous, such nice, so glorious. So it's worth seeing. And the Pandavas also felt, yeah, we have never seen, let us have a look. And this is what Dhritarashtra was looking towards. And he told, well, Yudhiṣṭhira, if you would like to go, you can arrange. And you can go there and stay for, kind of a vacation till the time it's if you feel okay. And whenever you feel, you can come back. Yudhiṣṭhira understood what's going on, but he, kind of had taken a vow not to disobey his superiors, and thus he just told, "So it be, we will go." And then when he went along with um, all the Pandavas, along with Mother Kunti, everyone was bereaved. But Vidur spoke this intriguing things. It's known as the Mleccha Bhasha, that which cannot be understood. No, lower caste Bhasha. And general people could not understand this. So he told three things. One was, Prabhupada writes here, one was that a weapon that is made of steel or any other metal element can be there more than sharp to kill an enemy, and one who knows about this is never killed. That's the fire weapon. And second, he told that, one fire cannot extinguish the soul but can annihilate the material body. So, Nainam Chandati Shastani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, that's fine. But one who protects the soul can live. That means, Atma, that way. So, Atma can be translated into body, soul also. So, but, you should do something to protect that also. And then, third thing he told is, when there is a forest and the fire, every living entity dies except for the mouse who finds the way in the land, who digs the hole. So with these three things, this still understood. No one else could understand. Again, why? Because there is Dharmaraj here and personification of incarnation of Dharma out there. But yes, eventually as they went, they stayed in that place, and Purochan was the villain here. Duryodhan called for Purochan, told, you do the needful, take lac. Lac means it's wax basically, which is used for finishing of the house and buildings and blocks. So the whole house was made up of things which are really highly inflammable, including bhusa, what is that called? Straw, and other things which, and ghee, and lac, which is wax. The final finishing was done with lac. And as the Pandavas entered, previously they went to Varna, but they stayed for 10 days in another house, which was a temporary place. And eventually, when that place was made ready by Purochan, then they shifted therein. And then, they when they were staying there for about a year, Purochan was trying his best to put the house on fire based on the instructions of Duryodhan, but that was supposed to be done when everyone is fast asleep. But understanding this well as a plot, Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj had put Bhima at task that he should not sleep at night. So he was all the time awake, and as he was awake, Purochan just could not do it. But ultimately, they figured out that this was the 14th day of the waxing moon, of so that's the day when he was going to put the fire. But what happened is, Kunti Maharani, she wanted to give donations, and for that she organized a big feast, and many people came, for giving, like, feast. They wanted to eat, and whatever remained was also given to many people. So some first the people came, and then some widow woman came, and then ultimately some feast was still remaining. So that night there was one, as such it is told, unfortunate Nishada lady who came along with her 5 sons, and she was staying in that place only. It was quite late, so she stayed back there only. And in addition, there was Purochan also, and they started kind of enjoying, and they started drinking liquor. And by drinking liquor, all of them fell flat. And understanding this to be the right moment, well, I'll take I'll go a little back. So what happened is, Vidur, he sent one miner. Miner means what? One who does mining. So he sent one miner who was supposed to dig a hole, a cave kind of a thing, by the grace of which these Pandavas can go out, but Purochand should not know. So it for this miner to dig that hole from the house till the end of the city, that's mine, towards the river. So then actually he dug and kept digging, and the center of the house was the way of entrance to the mines, but they put some logs of wood, plates of wood, and they covered it so that Purochan does not know. Now this is ready, right? And it has been almost a year, and he ultimately finalized, Purochan ultimately finalized, we'll put the house on house of lac on fire. In addition to that, Vidura had also instructed one of his close associates to be there on that river to give a boat which is having a rafter, which is having a kind of an engine. And that's what Mahabharata says. Kind of a steamer, it says. I don't know exactly how it was, but then it was not supposed to be drifted by the waves and neither by the storm. So that's how it was made. So then, now this being there at place, they all five have gone flat, and Yudhiṣṭhira takes all the, including Mother Kunti and the front, they takes all the family Pandavas outside of the tunnel and tells Bhima to put the fire. The whole house was on fire, and Purochan, finding no way to escape, dies within that, and all the other, there's five sons of this lady, Nishad lady, she also dies, and all the five sons also die, which eventually the Kuru, they understand this to be the Pandavas and Mother Kunti, and they also understand Purochan also died. And on the this side, there, these Pandavas, they go away, and it's night. They understand that there is a rafter out there because they're near the river, and they're unable to figure out how to go further because they're understanding that as soon as they will be seen, there will be trouble. So they had to run very fast, and lady Mother Kunti, quite old, could not run. So Bhima put her on the shoulder, and Nakul Sahadev on the back, and Arjun and Yudhiṣṭhira on his hands, and he started running, and everyone is sitting on him, and he is running with full speed till the time they reach the banks. But when the banks, then there that person on the other side, on little far away from, on the same side of the shore, was this person who was the close associate of Vidur, and he actually conveys that, okay, this is, well, I'm running short of time. So this is how he conveys that, okay, I'm his closest associate, and he gives some hints, by the grace of which they understand, and they cross over. And still Bhima keeps running for quite long till the time they reach the end. Very, very far actually. Anyways, eventually they all take rest in the forest, and Bhima is seeing all everyone, because they were quite thirsty. He goes to fetch the water. He sees everyone's taking rest, and he feels so, Mother Kunti is taking rest, and he feels so bad. But whatever, further he meets Hidamba, and the story goes on. What do we learn? Whatever time remains. Sorry. What do we learn? So actually we are all also in the fire of material existence, samsara dhavanala. And this is like a forest fire which is blazing. And like Vidura, he is giving the knowledge. Lord Krishna has given the knowledge to us. And that's also codified. It's not so easily accessible in terms of the Shastras. Of course, Vidura spoke Mlecha language. Krishna spoke, the most highest, beautiful, appreciative language, the Sanskrit. But he spoke that which is Bhagavad Dharma. And as Vidura, he understood that there is a need of a miner to dig the hole out of that place for the, for the interested souls to go out of that house of lack. So that's how Lord Krishna also sends his associates, the acharyas, and specifically for us, Srila Prabhupada, who is like that miner and the boatman who is digging the hole, a secret place, like Srila Prabhupada told, I have got the backdoor entry for you. So for us to go through from this, samsara davanala, or the other way we can see the bhavasagara. So he is like the plover, the boat is available, all the things are set ready, by the Lord, if we just agree to cooperate with his plan. And while all of this is happening, we can see how the Pandavas cooperate amongst each other. They're like one team. There was no, disunity amongst them. So that's also interesting, that how, as we march towards, the goal of our life and the destination, we also have to be united amongst us with this mood to serve the mission, with this mood to assist, and with this mood to simply obey and follow the beautiful, simple instructions with faith given to us by the Lord and the Acharyas. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.